Rolling.
Well, we hope you're hungry. On this episode, we're bringing in our famous, the legend, Dick Francisco is back to talk diet, all things food. Who knows what we're going to get into? We might even talk Olympics, Simone Biles. The night is young. Welcome to the Catch the Sky podcast.
Insert eating dick joke here.
That is on my list of things that I eat. So we'll talk about the dietary benefits of eating it.
Let's go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. As Safe said, this is the Catch the Sky podcast. I am your host, Sweet Tea. And with us to fill us in on her... What is there like a name for this diet? You know, there's like the Atkins diet, there's the paleo diet,
Dick's
there's
diet.
the caveman diet. What is this? What are we doing here?
South Beach.
This is actually a good way to start because I actually prefer to refer to it as a lifestyle. So there's that. I think mainstream folks would attempt to try to call what I'm doing a carnivore diet, but I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but that is a thing, is the carnivore diet. But mine's a little bit more unique than that, and I refer to it as a lifestyle.
So when I was younger, I got the nickname Meat Man because I used to just consume mass amounts of protein. Just all the meat. But it wasn't irregular meat. It was just, you know, the standard turkey, ham, chicken, pepperoni, salami.
So maybe that's a good place to start, T, because you referenced this concept of irregular meats. Mm-hmm. And maybe we just start off right off the bat and exactly what we're talking about here. And we're talking nose to tail is what we're talking about. We're not talking about all those fancy cuts of steak that y'all are eating. That's part of
Wagyu.
it. That's part of it. But it's really a matter of eating an entire animal, not just the fancy cuts that, you know, you like to grill up when you're chilling on a weekend.
So we're going
Like the Indians used to.
Yeah.
Or
really,
I should say like the Guardians.
Like our ancestors did. Absolutely.
Are we going to call Native Americans guardians now?
Before we get into that, can I, pun intended, bring up some beef that I have?
Sure.
Okay.
Please. Let's beef.
So I absolutely want to address T, your egg hate. I know you don't hate the eggs, but there was suggestion that eating as many eggs as you were eating was bad for your cholesterol.
Over
Twelve,
medium.
I believe.
Over medium.
I really wanted to debunk that today for all of the listeners because I feel like all of a sudden people probably stopped eating eggs because they 100% follow your dietary advice. And so I wanted to...
Goji citrus strawberry. That's all you need. So if you can get that in an IV... First off, tell me who your IV guy is.
I'll save the toxins. I'll save my speech about toxins and plants for the next episode. But... So dietary cholesterol, specifically the cholesterol that you're finding in eggs, it is proven, in fact, that it doesn't actually correlate to raising your cholesterol. That's not exactly how cholesterol in the body works. And the things that do raise your cholesterol are more those carbs, those sugars, and too much carbs mixed with saturated fats. That's what makes your arteries sticky. That's what makes cholesterol stick in them. So cholesterol isn't actually bad for us. Cholesterol is a building block and we need it. It's when your arteries get sticky and hold on to it, that's when you have a problem.
Well,
and that's not happening because of an egg.
But I've been living like exclusively off of carbs and sugars for at least the past 20 years. And
sure,
I've been fine.
That's why I'm amazed you're alive. Have you actually had a medical...
How often do you get your arteries checked to see how much plaque buildup you have in them?
They do that at Squaw Peak now.
Yeah, who does this? Nobody's looking at that.
They can,
Camelback.
but you would have
They
to
do it at Camelback.
You're going to have to take me to some
request
sort of
them to
clinic
look
or
at them.
something because I'm basically like one step above a homeless person. I just have way more money in the bank.
No, so I totally get that, and I'm being a little facetious relative to like go get the test. What I'm saying is you won't know eating a diet like that generally until it's too late that you have a problem, and then you have sticky arteries, you have cholesterol build up in it. But again, that's not happening because of eating an egg. That's not how that works.
So how do I
Now,
clean
Dick,
my
we've both
arteries out?
seen T live and in person. Does he look like someone with clogged arteries?
What a great question. You can't actually tell by looking at somebody whether they have clogged arteries or not.
Yeah, I'm going to die
can
at
assume
some
it.
point. I'm just going to die. I'm just going to drop dead. And so I need you guys to be prepared.
Not-
So how do I unclog my arteries?
Not to consider this fat shaming, but he could be a fat man on the inside.
I'm definitely a fat man on the
highly
inside.
believe that
I'm
to be
rotting from the inside out. I hope. I mean, I like to think I'm not. I mean, I do try to actually eat a relatively healthy diet, but then I know that there's way too much pop involved.
Soda. We call it soda.
Well, regardless,
and
how
really
do I
what
unstickify
you're saying
myself?
is there's too much. Stop eating sugar first. Like,
Oh.
please stop eating sugar.
I don't eat it. I drink it.
And that's still consuming it.
I think that's worse, too.
So, well,
And then that mix of those carbohydrates that you're putting into your body, usually that are included refined sugars. So you're probably eating a lot of simple carbs that result in sugars inside of your body that are only going to increase this problem.
well, is that going to reverse any of this? How do I unclog the clog? Is there any undoing
I'm so
this
glad
damage?
you asked. There is.
Apple cider vinegar.
You can start eating like me. Which means you start to eat nothing but nose to tail, which includes a significant amount of animal organs as part of your diet, and it reduces the volume of food that you're eating.
Can I just consume a lot of like meat, like just normal meat? Do I have to eat like I don't know how many eyeballs and like testicles and tongues I necessarily need to eat. I mean, I'm sure that you might be able to turn me on in time, but you're gonna have to ease me into this. I can definitely get on
So
board with
that's-
eating a fuck ton of meat. Trust me. I just don't know how many cocks you can slap on the table in front of me like the first week or two and expect me to be all in.
Which is why I've got a shout out for I'll refer to them as a small business. They are
Cock
called
slapping?
Ancestral Supplements. Yeah, Ancestral Supplements out of, and they actually do. They have a bottle where you can get cock slapped in the face in one easy little capsule a day. And so you don't even have to think about it. You can put that cock in your mouth, swallow it, and go about your day. And next thing you know, you just had a dose of testicles, prostate, blood, liver, and there's probably some other
That's a lot more than
additional male
cock.
goodness in
That's
there.
way more cock than
I
you.
know.
That's, well, all right.
And it's all in
Prostate.
one easy pill. So that's actually a great question, though. You asked, how do you ease into this? And so for a lot of people, the idea of eating organs isn't something they're interested in doing. And so that's where Ancestral Supplements comes in. And what they have done is create an entire line of organs that are desiccated. Do you guys know what that means?
No.
Not defecated, but
That's what I was thinking, defecated.
I know you were. I could hear you thinking it.
I just said no.
It means that all of the water is pulled out of the organ. It's essentially freeze-dried through a really particular process that maintains all the nutrients so that you get the nutrient density and all the good stuff in nice little capsules. So you can take them without ever having to taste it or look at it. And it's a really great way to ease into eating a variety of different organs.
I'd rather just eat a lot of
Then
steak.
you can eat your steak. You can eat your steak and have your organs too.
Why can't I
How much
just
are
eat
these
a lot of
supplements?
steak and make some pulled pork and whatnot in the slow
So
cooker?
I do want to
Pork
come back
shoulder?
to that though, TB. because part of the reason why eating organs in their whole food form, not necessarily in a desiccated form, is because they're really nutrient dense, which means they're also high in calories. And then from a satiety standpoint, they keep you full longer and you don't eat as much volume of food. That's not going to happen if you're just taking pills.
Are these steaks? I'm talking steaks. I want to eat just lots of steak. That's basically what I just want to eat lots of steak. That's what can I turn
and
this
I want
into
you
that?
to stop wanting, and I want you to stop wanting to eat a lot is where I'm going with it.
But I just consume a lot in general.
And I'm saying if you ate organs, you wouldn't, because your body would already be satisfied with the amount of nutrients that it's getting and wouldn't be telling your brain that you're still hungry.
My body's never satisfied.
That's because you don't eat organs. Do you know how satisfied I am?
Oh, God.
That's why you're one step up from a homeless man.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the best part. Eating organs in their, like, getting an organ, like, straight from the animal, so cheap. Nobody eats these meats, right? Safe asked about the supplements. The supplements are a little more expensive. Why? Because you're paying for the quality and the process of desiccating it. But otherwise, organs, pretty cheap meats comparatively. So I'm eating like a homeless person, too.
I discovered this diet through you, Dick, but only because I feed my dog the same diet, only raw. Although she's become more particular lately and
her
demands
skin
that her
looks way better than yours.
I got an amazing wow, I can't believe you're 41 today from some of the people I interacted with on the streets. So I think I look just good.
That's because you act like you're 20.
Yeah, were you walking with or without your cane?
Yes, seriously. It's not
getting
because of how you
I'm getting
look.
an epidural
it's because
tomorrow,
of how
by the
you
way.
act.
Getting a lumbar epidural. Starting
Again,
tomorrow.
your dog is doing way better than you on her diet.
They're injecting something into you?
They're going to inject an epidural. It's to reduce inflammation.
Into your back.
You know what else reduces inflammation? Eating
Tom
organs.
Brady.
Bro,
Is Tom Brady prescribed to this diet?
You are going to fucking go paralyzed. Even I won't do that.
That doesn't happen. That's a misnomer.
That's a misnomer until they fucking
I'm in the care
in.
of the Mayo Clinic.
It's going to go too far in or not far enough. Something bad's going to happen, and that's going to be it. This is the wheelchair. Do we have one picked out? Do we have one picked out?
It's the best we have.
Dick, do we have one picked
out? If I was in Europe, I'd be fine. I could change my diet and reduce inflammation as far as sciatica is concerned, because that's really what I'm struggling with. And I think that's the key. How do I...
Too.
Foods would reduce some inflammation. So the foods that I need to avoid, processed sugars, right? Various types of oils.
Once I get down there. I'm going to help you when I get down there. I'm going to go shopping, and you're going to see how I eat and cook regularly. And you're going to be as fit as you were 10 years ago in no time.
That wasn't that fit, T.
We're going to come.
But if you guys would both like to shape up and not die in the next 10 years, let me know, because I'm happy to introduce you to how I eat.
I mean, I might die in the next 10 years.
You just told me how fat you are on the inside and you're about to die.
I mean, I might. But I might die for a lot of
other different reasons.
You asked me how to reverse
that. You asked me how to reverse that.
I might die
and I told you.
Like, my dog might die in the next 10 years. Like, the stress from that could kill me.
Not if you eat an organ-based diet.
Oh, no.
So describe for us what exactly you eat on a daily basis. Just walk through your average day.
So first of all, I don't eat on a daily basis. That's the first thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for me. That's going to be a big problem for me. You're trying to pitch.
You only believe that to...
Pretty sure you drink on a daily basis.
Guys, shut up and let me talk. You only believe that to be a problem because that's how you currently have trained your body to operate.
Yes,
and you can go 3 to 4 weeks without food. You can go 3 to 4 weeks. People do it in Africa all the time.
This body.
I'm not suggesting 3 to 4 weeks.
This body.
I'm suggesting
burns,
that
baby.
your body doesn't need to eat food every single day, even yours, T.
But what about when you're burning
that contradicts
this
the
hard?
Food pyramid.
What about when you're burning this much energy?
And you're only burning that much energy because of the amount of processed food that you're putting in it. That's what it's burning.
And because I'm out here slinging dick. I'm out here fucking walking the walk, talking the talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a busy man. I'm fucking out here hauling ass.
That doesn't mean that your body needs to consume food every single day. It just doesn't. But that aside, so if you guys want to know what I eat on a daily basis, right? It's a pretty limited
What time
diet.
do you even wake up, Dick? Do you sleep, Dick?
So it's a great question. Do you have more questions, or do you want me to answer one?
Just start. Dick wakes up. What happens?
So the first thing I do when I get up is I supplement with about
What are you
8
supplementing?
to 10 different. I'm trying to answer the question.
Well, I feel like there has
Are
to
you
be
gonna let me
something.
answer
I
it?
feel like there has to be a something first before
That's-
you're supplementing with anything.
No. Do you guys want me to answer the question?
I do.
I'm telling you what happens when I get up in the morning. I get up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I supplement with 8 to 10 different desiccated organs.
So you.
That's what I do.
So you eat.
I put them in my
10
mouth.
capsules.
It's about 20 to 30. It's about 20 to 30 different capsules, because they're doing it in varying doses, that I swallow first thing in the morning. Yes.
Well, this is
With water, what do you do?
Well, that's
With water.
just taking capsules. That's not a supplement.
Yes.
Is an
So-
addition to something. So what is the thing?
Yeah.
So what's the thing in the morning?
So I don't eat food in the morning.
So you
that is
just
what I do,
take
and
capsules?
this is why I do it.
So are you considering?
this is why-
Are you considering the 29 capsules a supplement to one? Is that what you're doing here? Because I'm just being misled by the word supplement here. Because supplement, it would imply that there is something, some sort of main entree.
And I'm referring to it as, from a diet perspective, it is a supplement to what I may consume that night as actual whole foods. But those desiccated organs are considered a whole food, so they do have calories in them, and they do have full nutrients in them, and they are fully bioavailable to my body.
Now-
And so I take anywhere from 20 to 30 different capsules in the morning, and that is how I start my day, with water. I drink anywhere from 90 to 100 ounces of water in a day. And then if I'm going to eat food at night, it is going to be some form of meat, if it's not an organ, based on what I took in the morning, because I manage how much of each organ that I intake, because that's important. If I'm going to eat, whether it's like a steak or if I'm going to eat a piece of chicken, if I eat that, then I will usually complement that with quite a bit of fat, because my body breaks down fat really well. And so that would be with an avocado. That's what I eat outside of meat. And then I, before bed, take 2 shots of MCT oil.
All right, so we got some basic white girl shit in there with the avocado. That's never gonna happen.
T loves avocados.
Yeah, fuck avocados. That's fucking trash. So
That's
So
a superfood,
they're
bro.
one of,
Why can't I
they
just
are. They're one
smash,
of the
like,
best. It's one of the best foods that you could put in your body that isn't meat. Absolutely. I'm eating
father
for
hates them
life
too.
and sustenance.
I mean,
So
I'd
you all
rather
have-
go out and eat white dog shit, probably.
It's a
And I
texture thing with
understand that.
him.
Okay.
It's the equivalent to I mean, babies shit stuff that looks just like guacamole, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, at what point I can swipe.
You're not going to enjoy the Southwest.
I'm gonna swipe
You're going to be
a baby's diaper.
some
Sometimes.
really good guacamole out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a dirty baby's diaper, and I am going to swap it Indiana Jones style with somebody's guac and see what happens. Because I guarantee they'll dig in without even noticing a goddamn thing. You fucking savages. And then I'll watch them puke all over the place, and then you'll know how I feel. And then you'll know how I feel just looking at that fucking garbage. Now I'm done.
So I only have the luxury of eating for sustenance and survival, because you all have heard my health journey. And so I don't care if it's
Episode
baby
20.
shit or if it's anything else, whatever will make my body feel its best and not be in line for an epidural tomorrow is what I'm going to do. And so most of the food that I eat looks like it came out of the body. And I hope it did, because things that come from the animal are bioavailable to me. And I want my organs to feel as good as they possibly can so I can function.
I usually function
Those
pretty
slow
well
cooked meats.
And the change is life change. Like, the change that I have experienced is life changing. If you had gone through my journey of being where I was to where I am now, you wouldn't care what it looks like.
I believe you.
And so
Do you
I
feel
always say
physically
I have the luxury.
phenomenal?
I have the luxury of having lived in chronic pain to the stage that I was willing to do anything that has put me on this journey. Unfortunately for you guys, you have the I wouldn't call it a luxury, the unfortunate reality of not knowing what that's like, and so you can eat anything you want and kill yourselves.
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I have
That's
terrible
really
back
the
pain.
difference.
I have
No, I mean, that's really the difference.
terrible chronic back pain.
But not bad enough to do something about it, though. That's what I'm telling you. If your pain is bad enough, you'll do something about it.
Well, I can't fix my bones.
Try the epidural first.
I can't fix my bones. I can't stretch them out. I can't
But you can. I take living bone every single day, and I lived with incredible joint pain. It's part of my problem because I have endo in
the
there too.
scoliosis.
And it's the only thing that... Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I'm telling you that there is amazing abilities to be able to regenerate bone in your body and be able to help you feel the best you've ever felt on a healthy diet.
I'm going to start with the table to stretch me out and give my bones a little more space to grow. And then I'm going to consume mass amounts of meat. No dick.
Okay. I would actually tell you, because I also have dick in my house. It's a particular blend for male optimization. And I can attest to it being phenomenal for men to take.
And what? Yeah. Now I'm curious even more. So
you could use some optimization.
increase in the libido. We're talking here.
So
I don't have to run up Camelback Mountain.
Obviously, that's where... No, it'll make you want to run up Camelback Mountain. So, obviously, that's where people want to go immediately, is just right to the, like, oh, it's going to make you, even better at sex, right? Because that's what we all just assume when I say male optimization. And certainly it will if you're taking those little blue pills like I know you do. You wouldn't
only
need
with the fatties.
to.
Well, yeah, only
If
yeah.
you were-
Hey.
if you were taking this.
Speak for some people in this room, not me.
No, I've taken enhancement because, as we've discussed on this show, I had that incident in St. Petersburg, Florida, which was desiccating, and I was debilitated and humiliated, and it wasn't good. So yeah, I got 10 pills. I have 2 left. I saved them for emergencies, and I've been fortunate to have not needed them for quite some time now. I think a lot of it's mental. I think physically I'm good. But anything I can do to enhance or reduce inflammation, I'm open to the idea. My sister has promoted the ideas of veganism. And what is the difference between this diet and veganism as far as optimization, right? Continue, please, Dick.
Oh, you guys want me to talk?
Well, this
You're
seems
the
pretty
expert.
extreme. It seems pretty extreme. Why is it all vegetables or all meat? Why can't there be a little bit of both?
And
Yeah,
I'm
that's,
going to
and
say...
I like fish too.
So I'm going to say that I don't necessarily believe that it has to be extreme. Like, I'm not in the, trying to create camps. I've just done enough work and enough research and then enough R&D on my own body to recognize that organs specifically, and this is a really important part, when they are harvested appropriately, so when they are coming from cattle that is grass-fed, grass-finished, when it is in its purest form, and so that's where I'm very, very particular about where those food sources are and where they come from. I show up once a month to a park to pick up my organs from a farm that does this in southern Arizona that drives them up here to the valley. And
Williams?
So shout out to Sorry, what was that?
Or Williams, Arizona? Or
No.
is it,
So shout out to Chiricahua pasture-raised meats down next to the Chiricahuas in southern Arizona. My farmer's name is Josh. And otherwise, I'm getting them from Ancestral supplements where their cattle is raised under particular conditions in New Zealand. And so all of this matters. I am not about trying to create this us versus them or either or. What I have learned about organs specifically and organ meats that are coming from animals and the bioavailability of essentially like for like. So what a liver can offer, like when I take liver, what that offers to my liver is something that plants can't do for me. And so I've gone with what makes sense for the makeup of my body. So for instance, you know, you hear a lot of people go, well, a meat-based diet doesn't have fiber in it, for instance. And when you start thinking about why a body thinks it needs fiber, it's because of the diet you've been maintaining that fiber is needed to clean it out. Eating a organ and meat-based diet does not require my body to be cleaned out because it's already functioning with the appropriate amount of proteins, peptides, enzymes, all of that. Nutrients, vitamins, everything, iron, folate. I mean, I could go on, that all of those things are already being offered to me through the diet that I'm eating, that I don't need to supplement it with plants.
Did you feel an immediate difference when you started this diet?
I absolutely did, yes. Which is the first time I've ever had that. You guys have heard, episode 20.
Well, we know you, Dick.
Over 20 years I spent trying to solve this problem. And I should probably qualify that, being a vegetarian, borderline vegan at any given point for almost that long.
I got a question.
When I made this change.
Pescatarian at one point.
So these Franken meats that are like pepperoni and salami that are just basically like we're just throwing these animals into a grinder and just spitting out these sausages. Like, I feel like that is a more commercialized and streamlined version of what you're talking about here. Obviously, like I said, commercialized. So you know we're not getting the best fed animals. They're probably getting abused left and right. But at the same time, I mean, I'm that's pretty nose to tail right there, isn't it? Just toss that guy, hoof it in.
Well, there's a few problems with that, right? One, it's how it's processed, right? So things are added. So there's additives that are in those meats, generally speaking. It's the ratio of the nutrients that you're looking for from those organs to simply the amount of, say, saturated fats. Because what I think people don't understand when I say that I eat like this is they immediately think about the nutrition profile that you know about meat, generally speaking, and assume that you're just consuming too much of anything. And I take really good care to ensure that I'm not consuming too much protein versus too much fat versus too much saturated fat. Like, I manage all of those things and then making sure. So for instance, iron, not taking too much of that, making sure when I do liver you can do too much of. There's too much B12, for instance, and making sure that I manage how much of that I'm taking at any given point or eating at any given point. And so I'm still really considerate about what I put in my body because it's important. And so if I was just going to go eat summer sausage all day, I'm probably, one, not getting all of those nutrients. Two, it's a poor source that it's coming from, and that 100% affects the nutrient profile of the food you're eating is where it comes from. And then
mind over matter,
3,
Dick.
I'm not getting certainly. And that's what I tell people when they say they can't eat organs. I say mind over matter, T. Maybe just start with an avocado. Mind over matter.
No, I tried it. It's garbage. I refuse.
What do you think is a gateway organ for people to try?
Liver.
Chicken hearts?
Liver. I tell everyone liver in a desiccated form. Liver in a desiccated form. I have gotten many people started on this.
Remember that paste in Germany that they were feeding Maliki?
Yeah, it's called pate.
Yeah. That's liver, right?
It is.
Pad Thai?
But
Would you eat pate?
I try to get people to start on the purest form of the organ without all the additives. So even when I heard T suggesting some of the, other foods that he was interested or willing to try, as soon as you start adding things to it, that's when you have to start being considerate that you're changing the nutrition profile of the meal you're eating. So it's not that seasoning is bad. I'm a huge proponent for salt. Salt is not bad for you. Don't put sugar on those things. But as soon as you start adding certain things to it, that's where you start having to recognize, am I still eating this nutrient-dense meal for the sake of benefiting my body?
Well, here's the thing. If they have all these additives in the meat to make it last longer, that's just going to make me last longer, right?
Some people would say that.
The health outcomes.
They're
so
all
we're
dead,
actually,
but some people have said that.
average life expectancy has gone down for the first time in a long time. I think it was like 78. Now it's like 77 or 77 and a half, or I don't know, somewhere in there.
Oof.
I feel like that's a good run, but it's the quality of that run, right? And so obviously taking into consideration my physical pain now, knowing that I could do better, I'm open to anything. I think those supplements, this is like the gateway drug, or just try liver, but you're saying the purest liver.
So what I have done so people ask me about this quite often, and what I have done is gifted people who are truly interested in attempting or making the change a bottle of desiccated liver, just to let them try it. And the most recent success case of this was a young gal who has been vegan for quite some time. Yep. And took her a very long time, months, I will say, to finally make the decision that she was willing to try it. She was really scared, and I understood her fear because as a previous vegetarian myself, the thought of what it feels like when you eat meat and it hurts really, really bad, she didn't want that. And literally overnight, literally the next morning, I checked on her after she hit day 1 of taking one capsule, just one capsule, and her energy levels, her brain fog, it's been life-changing for her over the last couple weeks. And I know that sounds like an infomercial that can't be true. Yeah, totally, right? And that's what I tell everybody. I will gift it to you, and you try it. You just try it. And it is insanity. I refer to liver as nature's meth. It's unbelievable. It is nature's meth, 100%.
I always wanted to try crack, not so much meth. What would be nature's crack?
I love when people who've clearly never tried crack say it's like crack.
What about fruits and vegetables, Dick? Do you eat those other than avocados?
So avocados are a fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to vegetables, I'm pretty concerted about how I eat vegetables. I'm not anti-vegetable. It's just my body in and of itself has shown me and proven to me consistently that most vegetables that I have ever consumed have not helped me. So they generally have added more pain to my body. And that's just not something that I've experienced eating organs and avocados. So I'm not anti-vegetable. Vegetables have not done my body well.
Potatoes everywhere. Take great offense.
If you know the origin of the potato, that you would. It was taken from the Guardians and then brought back to Europe.
So there's also this really interesting reality about how vegetables are being grown, how they're being harvested, and despite the realities of organic produce, plants actually evolve over time to attempt to protect themselves too. And so that's where there are certain things so a soybean is a great example.
Like the jalapeno. Okay.
Yeah, so soybeans, evolving over time as a plant, it doesn't matter how organic it is. There's a reality of the way that it interacts inside human bodies, and a lot of that is these plants are attempting to protect themselves. So plants have to protect themselves from the elements no different than an animal does. They just obviously have different mechanisms for doing that, and so plants can be really hard on the human body to digest.
Boy, this is really... I mean, I've grown up, and they taught us about the 4 food groups. You needed dairy, meat, bread, and fruits and vegetables. And then they changed the pyramid Michelle Obama did, and everybody freaked out because she made it the plate, and I think she kicked off dairy. I think they tried to eliminate dairy, and then the Milk Association freaked out. And I don't even know what the balance of food is, but you're blowing my mind here, as always, as far as everything I've been taught might be a lie, but if I'm looking historically at what our evolutionary ancestors have eaten and where we're at now with drive-thrus and commercialization of agriculture and farming and global warming that comes along with that, I don't see why we wouldn't eat everything in the animal. Do you eat chicken feet?
Do I eat chicken feet? Yes.
Okay. A lot of this, I feel like
really,
it's just, they're really what?
They're really high in collagen, which for all those ladies out there who are buying the beauty products and pumping up their lips and faces and rubbing collagen-based everything all over their bodies, just eat some chicken feet, ladies. Just eat some chicken feet.
But you would eat, you get the best chicken feet, whereas I would just go to the Asian market down the street here and roll the dice, I guess.
You're going to be buying double soon.
I have obviously suggested that I care about knowing exactly how the animal that I consume was raised. But nonetheless, regardless of where you go and get those chicken feet, you might be putting some bad things in your body, but you're still going to get a bunch of collagen.
Right. The ethical dilemma of eating.
Which is why people think you looked, how old
morally.
did you get? They couldn't believe your age. People think I'm 14, which isn't working out well for me, but
Jesus.
I'm-
Yeah, this
I'm
is why
aging in
we have her
reverse.
on kid duty.
I am aging in reverse, y'all.
Well, I've been perpetually like 21 for the past 15 years, so I'm just going to take that.
And we're all going to be so sad and confused when you die at 21.
Well, you guys won't be. I mean, you won't be confused at least.
Yeah, I won't be.
And Safe,
won't be
Safe will be
confused.
completely aloof to the situation. He'll be off in fucking, I don't know.
63,
Madagascar.
I think
He'll
I'm
be in
good.
Italy.
I just have had enough. My father just turned 78. I think if I can make it to 78, I feel that's a good run. What is the research? Is there, I know you're into medical research, Dick. So does the medical journals back up your claims as far as this diet?
Yeah, so that's actually a really interesting point because more money is being put towards it now, and that's really had to be a push because you guys have heard me talk about this before. Medical research aside, it's still a racket in a game when it comes to what gets researched and what gets published, right? And it's who has the most money. And so obviously things like this that go against what, one, you've always been told, right? Two, start to get right at the heart of the American diet that has a lot of money behind it, right? So when you start thinking about processed foods and you start thinking about factory farming and agriculture and, Monsanto, obviously they're not going to be super supportive. Cargill, they're not going to be super supportive of a discussion about a diet that starts to eliminate what they do and how they've made their empires. And so it's really taken grassroots efforts on behalf of some pretty radical doctors and folks who are willing to do that. And so the studies do exist. You can go to Mayo Clinic. In fact, I think you were touting them, and they will point out to you something as simple as eggs don't raise cholesterol in your body, for instance, the consumption of eggs. So you're starting to see a little bit of that when it comes to this full-blown nose-to-tail diet. It was actually Don't Hate Safe, but a U of A grad, Paul Saladino, he's a doctor as well, who has really pushed this based on research that he has done and then getting those published studies out there into the mainstream. But he's not the only one. He's just probably been the most infamous about it. And I call him infamous because he often gets censored on social media for talking about this diet. So just like talking about endometriosis can get you censored on social media platforms, so does talking about eating meat and organs gets you censored on social media.
Has nothing to do
So
with
if
the amount of
nothing else,
cock
that should
jokes
prove
that
to you.
are made.
Or COVID,
No.
COVID denial.
If anything, that should prove to you that there's probably something you should look into if it's so censored and people are so afraid of it. You should at least ask a few more questions about it then. Yeah, because then I would say this back to your point right there about COVID denial. Certainly, Paul Saladino and anyone that's been at the forefront of this aren't denying COVID, nor am I. COVID's a real thing. But what I will suggest is that metabolic health and how you take care of your metabolic health and improving your metabolic health is certainly one way to combat COVID-19 and anything else that could possibly come towards us, because it's not going to be the only virus that we ever have to experience, as we know.
Right. Yeah, I still believe
so that's what this is all about, is your metabolic health and how do you improve that.
I think I've worked really hard to eliminate processed sugar. I still cheat every now and then. In fact, I've nibbled on half a box of bottle caps today, but I'll get right back on the horse again. And after I finish the pint of ice cream, and maybe I'm going to try some of these liver supplements.
Don't try and get me
for tea, I would suggest to you, because again, I'm not here to suggest that I'm perfect either. I drink like a fish, right? But one of the benefits of taking supplements, specifically liver supplements, pop one of those after a night of drinking and you'll feel phenomenal the next day. That's an abuse of the liver supplements, but nonetheless, works like a charm.
What do you think, T? You're gonna, when you get out here to the Southwest, you're gonna be eating so much guacamole and liver you won't know what to do. It's gonna be fantastic.
No, there's gonna be lots of steak involved though, and I'm gonna abuse your slow cooker. So get ready.
Dick eats steak. We've had these amazing cookouts. We had jowl. I've never had jowl before, and it was the best damn jowl I've ever had.
Most recently made some tongue too. It was
Is this
phenomenal.
jowls like the things that are like dogs' jowls?
Yeah, only it comes from a pig. It's the most luxurious food you'll ever put in your mouth.
It's good.
Frank would disagree.
Tasty.
No, it's even better than that, T.
Frank's got some meaty jowls. So.
Well, anytime someone comes to me with an ailment, you know what my response is going to be. I've got an organ for that. And I can truly attest to the 8 to 12 different supplements that I am taking that supplement any other food I might consume.
That's usually my response too.
Making me age in reverse. What's that?
I've got an organ for that.
I do. Do you want a rundown quickly of everything that I take in a day?
Yes, please.
Hell yes.
Do you really? I don't know. That seemed like T was a little nervous about it.
No, I want it.
Okay. So,
nice and slow, though,
spoiler alert, though. I am not the one in my household who takes prostate, testicles. I'm working on getting the ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, and mammary, but that one's real hard to source because, of course, it's easier to get male parts than female parts, even when it comes to animals. So, what I do take on a daily basis is intestines, tripe, liver, heart, thymus. I take tallow, which is just like it's a form of fat. Colostrum, so also not an organ, but colostrum comes from a cow. Brain, that one's phenomenal, life-changing. Oh, I know there's more in there. Wow. Oh, collagen in the form of, and then bone. So I take living bone, which comes from multiple parts of particular bones in the animal. So I take those. Those are on like a daily basis that I take those. And then I supplement in and out depending on like the day. Kidney. So kidneys pop in there at any given point. pancreas. I do take pancreas and gallbladder on a daily basis as well. Pancreas, fun fact for anybody who takes digestive enzymes, you can quit taking those and just take pancreas because that's where your body actually creates enzymes, and that's where enzymes come from. So I highly suggest that. That's generally my rundown of an average day.
So this is like...
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, my pancreas isn't producing enough of this, or we need more of this. I'm just going to eat more pancreas from a different animal.
So, yeah, that's basically how it works, right? So for instance, the pancreas, the gallbladder, and the intestines, along with the tripe, so those 4 really are for digestive health because I know that I have endometriosis that grows on my intestines and has caused my digestive system to be in pain before.
And so you just throw more organ at it.
Yeah, actually, so here's the interesting thing about when
I feel like this is like stem
organs,
cell. I feel like this is...
Some
yes.
of these actually, it works the exact same way. Yep.
Bang. There we go.
And so even like
connected the dots.
The beef brain is working that way as well.
Oh, so you're like a cow?
It's cell signaling. What's that?
So you got like a cow brain?
Yeah. So I will tell you from so I obviously shared the mental health piece of my struggle with endometriosis and being
episode 20.
Being at the depths of what that means, especially in the last several years when I had to come off of birth control, that it can be somewhat mood stabilizing, even though it wasn't for me. Anyway, having that hormones being completely imbalanced and having mental health issues in general, when I started supplementing beef brain, I have never, ever felt this good in my life mentally. And it's life-changing. I will tell you, it is life-changing. I am no longer as insane as I used to be. And I would argue I'm not insane at all, but some people would probably question that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll join that.
But I fire on all cylinders. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
Yeah,
The
I know.
amount of
That's what I'm saying.
energy
I've been firing
that I
all
have
cylinders too. So it's like, you want to get me on this lifestyle or whatever, that's going to be like dropping a V10 into this baby. I don't know if the world's ready for that.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
They might not be ready for both of us, T, is the problem.
Right.
There's not going to be room for both of us.
Jesus. I see us taking that whole, like, this town ain't big enough for the two of us mentality just a little too far.
Yeah, totally.
One night and ending up in the Glendale town square drunk.
I hope so.
Eating pie.
Oh, yeah. That moved to Friday, by the way.
It's Cream Pie Fridays now?
You don't even eat your own pie.
Jesus.
Yeah. Of course I don't.
Thank
Did I
God
not
we
just
didn't
tell
make
you
the
how
shirts
terrible
yet.
pie is for you? I just got done telling you just how bad pie is for you. Of course I don't eat the pies.
Well, I'm going to continue eating all the pie, so whatever the lifestyle change is, that's not going to change.
Oh, I think I'm going to start taking some placenta is what I'm going to start taking.
There you go. Start taking them from different animals. That way you'll be like a hybrid of all the animals.
So I do when I eat them when I eat them not desiccated, right? So everything from lamb hearts, chicken hearts. I just had elk the other night. Beef, pork. So pigs, people get real weird about pigs. But when they're pasture raised and they're raised appropriately, they're really, really high in vitamin D because of the sun exposure that they get. So it's a really, really great form of vitamin D.
Yeah.
So yeah, I cross that spectrum of animals I'm willing to eat as long as I know how they were harvested and how they lived.
Yeah.
It matters.
Makes sense.
So chickens, turkeys, poultry in general. I get emails from my farmer throughout the month to show me how the animals I'm about to eat are living. They live very, very good lives.
They go to school to at least get grade 3.
Right before we got started here, I just ate a piece of venison, grass-fed venison.
Sounds delicious. I can't wait to try some myself. Soon enough, we're closing in. The sign is in the yard.
I'll cook you dinner the first night, T. And by
Ooh.
cook, I mean I'll put it on a plate raw.
Let's. Well, the fuck.
Sounds like
I
you
heard
can
you
eat it
like
in the
it
new
raw.
studio.
I heard you like it raw, T.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Making me eat my own words
I can
there.
make that happen.
So, I think this is a pretty informative episode here for anybody looking to change up their diet or anybody that's just really into meat or dick.
Now you know why I like it so much.
If you have any questions or comments for us, you may find us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. You may find Dick on Instagram at the Dick Francisco or on Twitter at I'm Dick Francisco. You may also find us on Twitter at CTS Terry or at CTS Safe. And until next week, keep trying to catch the sky.
Or eat the sky.
Welcome to the organ life.
Thanks for joining us, Dick, and we'll look forward to having you on again soon.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thanks.
Bye.